gamers, YouTubers, fellow Cartridge Club members, and everybody else. Welcome to another episode of Game Time with Kyle. NES Hidden Gems. This is our fifth edition of the show, and on today's episode, we're going to be taking a little bit of a look at Batman for the NES. Now, it's kind of a weird one because a lot of people will be like, "Well, Batman game. Batman's pretty popular." Not really hidden gem. I think a lot of people have played a lot of Batman games, but I think a lot of those people have never really dived into the Batman series before the Arkham Asylum game in Arkham City, now Arkham Knight. I think those are the big ones, but there actually have been a few Batman games that existed before them. Some so-and-so, some not so good, some pretty good, like this one right here. I myself, I'm actually, this is going to sound a little weird, but I'm not a huge Batman fan by any means. I'm a big Marvel fan. I'm sure a lot of you who are familiar with myself personally, as well as some previous videos know I'm a huge Marvel and especially Iron Man fan. So when it comes to DC, I'm not as knowledgeable with DC. I don't like DC quite as much. I suppose if anything, Batman is probably my favorite DC character, just because it's very similar to Iron Man in a lot of ways. So I'm an average Batman fan, but there's one thing I do like about Batman, and that's his rogues gallery, all the Batman villains. I think out of any superhero character ever, Batman does have the best villains, has the best enemies, so you can't argue that. So, but yeah, this is Batman on the NES, so we combined Batman with great NES, and again, why is it a hidden gem? Well, I think this is the one that not a lot of people are too familiar with. We're going to be taking a look at the first 2 or 3 stages here. We're going to play a little bit of it and show why it's a great platformer. So actually reminds me a little bit of maybe some Mega Man with more punching, I think. So, but yeah, otherwise it's made from Sudden Soft, and it came out in 1989. I think kind of to coincide with the very first Batman movie where they had the Joker. I forget his Jack Nicholson as the Joker. Sorry, I'm not a movie buff either, but Michael Keaton's Batman. So yeah, we're gonna play a stage or 2 of this and show off why a lot of people not talk about it and don't really bring it up a whole lot when they think Batman games. And that's why I think it's a hidden gem, and it's definitely one worth playing, and definitely one with some great soundtracks on the NES. So stay tuned. All right, here we go. Some Batman. I always hate that intro. It sounds like it froze or something. It's on that low note for like a few seconds. So here we go, Batman on the NES. This is from Sunsoft, 1989, like I said. Kind of based on the first of the Tim Burton, I think that was the director, Tim Burton Batman movies. Listen to that great music. Not only is this kind of a hidden gem, like I said, so I think a lot of people know about this, a lot of collectors, but it definitely has some of the most underrated music on the NES. Yeah, I'm going to turn it up just a bit. So you can see here you got your purple Batman, 8 to jump, B to punch, so it's similar to some Mega Man. I'm going to still turn it up a little bit, that's great music. Select is actually the pause button. It shows you on the top left corner how many you have left. It says rest. That's, you got 2 remaining Batman. And the start button, we don't have it yet, but we'll be able to select our items. So, great platform. You can kind of see in the background, you're kind of in Gotham, and there's a theater, so we got some stuff there. So now I'm hitting the start button, we get our batarang. I can hit using the B button. We have a pistol of some sorts. Start again would be a kind of a triple batarang. I'll show you that one more time. Starts as 1 but then goes to 3, that's pretty cool. And start again, we're just regular punchy Batman, it looks like. So I did something a little different before I started playing here. I actually went and played through the first 2 or 3 stages just to get warmed up. Normally I go in kind of blind and I end up kind of sucking on video, so I didn't do so in this case. A lot of these guys can just duck under the bullets. Whoop. We kind of take modern games for granted when we have like a weapon wheel. Here we have to hit start when we want to cycle through all of our weapons. It's kind of annoying. Sorry if I'm a little quiet. Again, that music's just so good. I think a lot of people need to hear that great soundtrack. This thing's going to come at us, so let's jump over that. I'm sure a lot of us, and especially if you're watching this particular video, you've seen the original Batman movie from 1989. Spoiler at the end, the Joker is the main villain, and it's a great boss battle. I think we go. Great reflex game too. Oh, here's where we want to use some of our weapons like the batarang. We got a few of those. Man, it's just something great about these old school NES platformers. I'm sorry, modern games can be pretty cool, and I like them very much, but you can't beat some of these games. I have a little bit of health left, so I'm going to be a little more careful. But when you get killed in the game, you do explode in a blazing ball of death like that. Pretty neat. Luckily, the checkpoints aren't few and far in between. We just started here at kind of the second half here. I'll try to catch up here real quick. And I'll show you a later stage in the game and we'll call it good. Oh, not quite. We'll do a little wall jump shortcut this time. I was going to save that for a little surprise a little bit later. So very much like a Ninja Gaiden, you can kind of jump on the walls long before it became cool in like modern Mario games and everything. So this game really does have it all. Some acrobatics and... Let's see how our triple... That worked out pretty well. Let's try the gun. Yeah, it looks like everybody takes about 2 hits. We have this guy again. Short work of him with the pistol. I think this is a great game too that a lot of people can enjoy. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not a huge Batman fan. Like I said, as far as DC goes, I'm not quite as knowledgeable. I don't like DC as much as Marvel. If anything, Batman is probably my favorite DC character. But I just find nowadays it's just kind of, it's the cool thing to like Batman, and he's cool, and the Arkham games are great. And actually the Arkham games are actually pretty good, if you haven't played those. But I still say Batman does have the best villains gallery, the rogues gallery. You can't beat the Batman villains, and just the atmosphere of Gotham itself, especially in those older movies. They really had a lot of personality. So, one thing I should mention too in this game, definitely some great boss battles. Very reminiscent of the Mega Man games, in my opinion. Because the stages themselves not overly challenging by any means, but the boss battle is quite the challenge, because you're not quite sure what to do, and the enemies are moving pretty quick. Now I don't have any of my items left. Yeah, I'm hitting the start button. I'm not seeing any items popping up. Alright gamers, that was a little bit of Batman on the NES. I said we were going to see a couple other stages, but there's a little bit of a time restraint here. I have to get going, and for some unknown reason I could not defeat that boss that I currently showed you on that previous clip. But there's some great sewer levels after that, and yeah, there's actually a lot of variety in the game. But never fear, because we will definitely be playing more of this game. Probably, even though it's not a two-player game, I think it might be fun to kind of pass the controller for a future two-player too, so you kind of see how far myself and another friend can get. So we'll see more of this game. You'll see I'm actually pretty decent at it after all, but just for time purposes, unable to play a little bit more of it. So Stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.